in their mid-60s. Don't tell them I told you. But they are the third generation owners of the farm. And their kids are all in their 20s, and they are being trained right now to take over the farm. But it was Mark's grandfather that founded the farm in 1941. And when he first came to the farm with his wife, it was just all desert, and they paid $25 an acre for just over 600 acres. You won't find those prices anywhere anymore. Crops that they had to plant was cotton and a nursery. They needed to plant trees, plant flowers, spruces, all kinds of stuff. And it wasn't until about the 90s that they turned it into an agritainment farm. You know what agritainment means? It mixed entertainment with agri. Alright, there's a rooster right here. His name is Elvis. Don't let cartoons tell you anything about them because they're actually really fast. They just, last tour that I had a little bit ago, there was a whole bunch of salad. They finished all that in less than a half hour. So they like to hibernate. They like to dig.
Why are you doing that?
So they know what the golf cart looks like, and every time the golf cart comes around, they think they're going to get fed.
Oh,
Because that's typically how they get fed. We get 3,000 to 6,000 people a day, and over here we have little pig races. So I think those little piggies are going to get trained. So October's the only month because it's an event, a full-fledged event with food and rides, like a carnival rides, for the whole month. In this whole area, we have goats, play this ropes course, jumping pillows. The goats sometimes like to climb up here. Bring their own food to the farm.
Mom, I want to go there.
We're going a little while. Yeah, we'll come back. Now, all these rides are the rides that the family owns. These are all vintage rides. And then they work with another vendor in October that brings out the large-scale ride, anti-gravity roller coaster. It's one of a kind. So there are roller coaster connoisseurs that come from all over the country just to say they rode that. And then we have our cornfield right straight in front of us that we put a celebrity face as the maze. So we've had Muhammad Ali, Oprah, Ella. This becomes our pumpkin patch. And it'll all be mowed down and have hay bales and pumpkins. It's going to be so cute. We don't grow one darn pumpkin. It's so hot in October, they would not turn orange. You need cold weather to turn them orange. So we get them all from Colorado. And the middle greenhouse, that's something you can always go into. It's got tomatoes and peppers. The cream-colored house right over here, that's our garden center. We have buckets on the front porch, and you can go there anytime, Thursday through Sunday, and 8 to 4, and grab a bucket, wander through the gardens. There's signs everywhere of what you can pick and what not to pick. Now this is where the train comes out to. Now we have over 60 acres of peach orchards. So they're not all in one place. We're going to see them throughout our tour today. And they're going to be at all different various stages of growth. We have 7 varieties. And these guys originate from Turkey. And they're full grown. And they're just for pure entertainment. Mark and Carrie rescued these deer from a gentleman in Mesa that was losing his property. So they carved out an acre of land for them. And they're all full grown. They don't, they're not a fast growing herd at all. The soil here is sandy. You can grow it if you want here. And so they got into potatoes. And at one time they grew the largest amount of potatoes for French fries ever.
for sure.
in the entire state.
Oh.
Even though when they first started, they bought about 640 acres of land. They bought about 5,000 acres, sold off a lot of that in the early 80s because of inflation. And so now they're down to just under 300 acres. So one of the other things that they've gotten into is wedding venues. It's wedding. So this is called the farmhouse. The thing about this house is this is one of the original homesteads. So Mark was raised in this house. His dad built it in the 50s. So he was raised here. It was the only house he ever knew. And then he and Carrie lived here and raised their 4 kids. Now there was a fire here in 2015. They kept some of the remnants from that for picturesque. Then they added this section onto this end of the house for just adding a great big reception. Oh my goodness. Well, September through May is their wedding season, and all I know is 1 month I saw 78 weddings. Now they have 3 wedding venues, and they're going to be building a 4th wedding venue out here. This becomes the maze, the corn maze with the celebrity feast in it. All these pine trees were planted as seedlings as well. So peach trees only last about 20 years before they rip them out and put them through the chipper, because they just stop. They slow way down on their producing. And so this might be their last year. They trench out the orchards because they do a thing called flood irrigation. But they also do trenching during peach blossom season when they have all the pretty pink flowers all over the trees, because they need to protect those flowers from a freeze. And so what they do is they actually have a geothermal well 2,000 feet below the surface that pumps out hot water. It's like 98 to 102 degrees. And they flood the field at the coldest part of the morning, and the steam rises and it protects all the flowers. They actually have video of that on their social media. It's really pretty cool. I'm sure they're all like jamming, right? But I was, it's so pretty. So back in the 80s, Mark banded together with about 4 other farmers to try and get Queen Creek incorporated. The land belonged to Mesa and Gilbert, so they put up quite a fight. And they finally were successful. used to be the storage for all of our cold storage for all of the produce back in the day. So it's just one big great room. They ended up putting stained pallets all on one wall and hanging chandeliers and calling it shabby chic. But it is really fun. Have you guys heard of the Cozy Beach? We have our own little vintage Airstream trailer park. And there's 9 of them, almost 10. The 10th one is almost done. This is our check-in office. They rent them out nightly rentals like a hotel. So we've had some really fun parties back here. We've had bachelorette parties, family reunions, women's retreats, anniversaries, birthdays, all kinds of fun stuff. You guys want to take a peek inside?
Ooh, how pretty.
Seen like a Civil War reenactment thing going on out in this field. We rent a field out twice a year to a school that does all of that. So now you know. When you see it, you'll be like, oh yeah, Michelle said. You can use these bicycles and you have the whole run of the farm after hours. How cool is that? Mark and Carrie got married in the 90s. Her family are landscape architects, so they were pivotal in what would be planted where. Like
This was a runway to the airplane.
Reminds me of Savannah, Georgia. This becomes the hub of our Christmas event down here. We have hot cocoa stations, crafts, food vendors, and then all down this corridor we have fire pits, hay bales all around. All the trees are lit up. It's so pretty. Neon farm. And we brought them here. Carrie's goal is to have this corridor filled and then open them up as shops. Now this house here was the original farmhouse outside of the one-room shack that Mark's grandparents lived in until they were able to purchase this house from the railroad. But it's a full-time museum now. You can always go in there and see the whole history all over the wall. All the pictures. Got big trees for sale. And they've got merchandise and seeds and stuff for sale inside. Otherwise, just grab a bucket and head on down to the garden. You don't need to ask permission. Better to ask forgiveness and permission, right? All these shops are open on the weekends. On Saturday, we'll have the Twin Creek Family Market here, right out in that parking lot on the other side of those little gates. And you saw it when you came in from the parking lot. See that cover? And in October, Schnepf does all the cooking for the event the whole month. So we have 5 of these big grills. We do hamburgers and hot dogs and chili and corn, succotash.
Well, October really is the time to come, huh?
It really is. I think it's probably the most beautiful